Another strong performance, and particularly against a team that he's seen a lot of, or they've seen him. There's a couple guys in that lineup that have had success, but I thought he and Sandy did a very good job of a constant mix of speeds, mix of pitches. He got a couple of big strikeouts with men on base, and that was a well-played game, well-pitched game on both sides. So on a night when Chris didn't have much maybe room to maneuver based on the scoreboard, a strong outing once again for Chris.
John, given how well he settled in, how big was it to get a couple in the first inning off of Barrios?
Well, that's one of the better pitchers we faced this year. Power stuff. We were able to get some fastballs up in the strike zone early on. I know he's in the early part of his career, but good pitchers, you've got to get them early. We were able to get just enough to maintain a lead throughout, but he settled in. He was powerful, good breaking ball, change up to left-handers, a three-pitch mix that was quality. But like I said, like the way the at-bats that we had early, the way we played this game overall, it was a well-played, clean, crisp game.
John Farrell's obviously always been a strikeout pitcher, but he's on pace for over 300 strikeouts right now. Is there anything that you guys have seen or talked about that you think he's doing better than he's done in the past to induce so much swing and miss?
No, I mean, we're seeing a guy that, maybe over the course of this year, the percentage of change-ups thrown might be a little bit higher this year than in years past, and it's clearly a wipeout weapon for him. But I think we're pretty clear. We're well aware of the number of strikeouts he's compiled to date. But we're talking about an elite guy in the major leagues, and it's a treat for us to see him pitch every fifth or sixth day.
With 108 pitches there, Sale's the type of guy you probably let him get out of that jam quite a few times this year. What about that situation led you to go with Heath there?
He probably didn't want to come out of that game, but for some reason, certain hitters see pitchers better than others. A small number of at bats by Jimenez, but he's seen them well, and there's been some extra base production in there. Felt like that was a spot where he's coming to the end of the line. He 110 pitches into the ninth inning just 5 days ago. The way Jimenez had swung the bat, a couple of at bats previous. Heath comes in, makes a key cutter pitch, located pitch, and Lynn, who, a really good game by him tonight, starts a very good double play. Key play and a key part of the game.
Were Barnes' strikeouts a direct product of that work you've been doing on the side?
Yeah, no, there's no question, Evan. You see a little bit of an adjustment in delivery, maybe less moving parts, an abbreviated leg kick to allow him to stay over the rubber, stay gathered. But that was a really encouraging inning by Matt in a key spot. So to get him back on track, with the usage pattern with Joe, his availability, Matt's availability is key. And for him to come out, get the strikeouts as he did, that was really encouraging.
What was it that he was?
There was just some subtle adjustments with hands and his leg kick to, like I said, to keep him a little bit more gathered over the rubber. And he was that tonight.
John, Lynn was pretty competitive at the plate. You see enough out of him that you want to run him back out there?
Pete, I think the thing that stood out was even on borderline pitches, there was no panic in his at-bats. There was no over-aggressiveness. He took some borderline pitches. So with a couple of left-handers going the next couple of days, we'll mix and match. We've got two good defenders, and the situational hitting by both guys will be important. But I thought he handled himself extremely well tonight.
John, I think Mitch leads the team now in RBI. Can you talk about his situational hitting as well as playing through, his toe situation as well?
He's become kind of a bedrock in our lineup. His all-field approach, particularly in his ballpark, works well. He's had a number of base hits. It's almost like an even distribution where his base hits come from. So the plate coverage is there. In this most recent stretch, he's been able to get on top of some fastballs that have been either at the top of the strike zone or above for some power, obviously. But I think the way he's going about it, given the physical condition he's in, is a strong message to the remainder of this team.
Just looking ahead to tomorrow night, what have you seen from Drew that's kind of turned things around for him on a consistent basis?
He's attacked the strike zone with much more regularity. It's allowed his pitch efficiency to be improved. I think there's been additional use of maybe a few more cutters inside of a ball game. The use of his changeup is started to come into the mix a little bit more. So, the attack plan against him for a number of starts is fastball, curveball. But the fact that he's got two other pitches he makes hitters conscious of or aware of, I think it's just slowed them down a little bit and maybe reduced some of the foul balls and the high pitch counts that have been part of his starts.